tonight with a fun matchup between the streaking Arrows of Ashland, seeking to hit the target with a 6th consecutive victory here on the road in Bellville, where the 8-8 Clear Fork Colts want to climb above 500 before they head into tournament play. It's live and free boys high school soccer, streaming exclusively on the OH Report, anywhere the internet can be found. And guess what? It's all on the way next.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Good evening, folks, and welcome inside of the Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement pregame show alongside the amazing Garret Parlett. I am Brian Skowronski, and it is senior night here inside of the Colt Corral, and it might be kind of a short one because, well, Clear Fork's just got the lone 12th grader on the roster. They are showing some love to the Ashland seniors here tonight, but it's all about the home team here in Griffin Blakely, a really truly dynamic playmaker for this team, G, and he's out there with his parents about to make the long walk here across the field. And I know that you got to do this for football. I got to do this as well for football. It's a fun, cool experience unlike anything else.
Yeah, it's great to be out there with your parents and, kind of get that one last hoorah, in the last part of the season. And for Blakely, you know, being the lone senior out there, I wonder how the feelings are out there. All the eyes are on you. There's no other senior. Young team, Clear Fork is. So
yeah,
shout out to Griffin Blakely, the senior, not only a goalie but also can play in the field too.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool about him. We're going to talk a little bit more about his accolades and what he brings to the table once we start diving a little bit deeper into the pregame. But for now, Griff and his family making that trot across the field, mentioning all of the different things that he's accomplished and some of his favorite memories here at Clear Fork. And I always find that that's one of the best parts about senior night is the schools and the communities that really do it right. They add some flavor to it. They let you give some shout outs and, you know, tell some fun stories that at least the announcers tell through your perspective and your eyes, and of course some gifts. And I'm looking at, kind of looks like a like a Chinese box if you had some takeout. I wonder, what do you think, a little shrimp lo mein in there?
It looks a little bit of like some white rice, and parents got a t-shirt too, not just Blakely. So shout out to the Clear Fork soccer program here, Nate Gailey, giving out the right gifts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a Kung Pao chicken guy myself, so I wonder what Griff's flavor is. Maybe we'll get a chance to find out. I do want to see if he opens that baby. What's lurking inside? But hey, we'll tell you what we got lurking inside of tonight's broadcast. It's it's kind of a fun matchup here tonight, G. Tournament time right around the corner, and obviously the results here, they're not going to impact the playoff seeding in any way. We just had the draw on Sunday, but carrying momentum into the postseason, always beneficial. Both of these clubs, you know, they want to get a dub, man.
Yeah, it's a good barometer before heading into postseason play. But both squads, solid season so far. Ashland finished in second in the OCC, and Clear Fork, you know, a bit of an up and down season, but, you know, sit at 500 at 8-8. So for the Colts, this is a good spot, you know, before heading into tournament time. You know, just to see where they're at, see what they stack up against a tougher team, an elite team like the Arrows.
Let's talk more about Ashland and what they've been able to do so far this season. And really, of late, 7 of their last 8, they have been victorious in G. The only loss during that stretch at Perrysburg. I was just talking to the coaching staff about that game, and they said it was a really strange one. So they just kind of threw out the tape on that. They're exciting, offensive-minded squad, and rarely held under 3 goals. So tonight, definitely expecting some fireworks.
Yeah, they can put up goals in a hurry. I haven't got to see Ashland so far this season, but I know that, you know, they got an impressive win over Lexington, and I know Lexington, you know, one of the elite clubs in the area. So if you're able to defeat them, I would say you're a pretty solid team. You know, they're fast on the outside. They're able to get some goals really when they get the opportunity to do so. And I'm curious to see how they handle up against, you know, Conner Hauger and this Clear Fork, you know, these guys up front.
Yeah, 2 of their 5 losses actually came fresh out the gates. Northview in their opener, and then Midview back-to-back. So they opened up at 0-2. They've been playing a lot better soccer ever since, and they're making their walk out onto the field here, going face-to-face with Clear Fork. And a pair of great goal scorers for Ashland kind of carries this club when you look at Owen Sherrick along with Aiden Berenson. It's kind of hard for me to say, G. I'm going to get it right before the end of the night. But you look at these 2 guys, and 2 elite goal scorers, and they also have had quite a few helpers on the season too. 28 combined goals, but a lot of assists.
Yeah, I know Sher. He's up there in the team in goals as well as Aiden, but they're also able to pass and set up teammates for assists, and that's really the big thing coming into tonight. They don't like to, you know, be selfish. They like to pass the rock, find the open guy who can get a great opportunity for a goal. As you take a look, they lead both the teams in categories with 28 goals and 14 assists for the Arrows.
Yeah, go ahead, let those numbers sink in, folks, as we step aside for a minute with the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. So we're all set for action now. Ashland, of course, looking for their 6th straight victory here tonight. On the other side of the equation for Clear Fork, let's dive into their team spotlight. And you look at the results, G, and it's kind of like an EKG meter for the squad. Lots of ups, plenty of downs. They're kind of like one of those surprise gift bags, I would say, that the new age kids really like, where you don't really know what's going to be inside. Not 100% sure what Colts squad that you're about to get on any given night. So if we get good Clear Fork, obviously expecting to win here tonight, then we've seen some other times where they can't even get shots off on net.
Yeah, and we saw that against Lexington. And I know Lexington's one of the elite clubs in the area, Brian, but they only had 3 shots, in total, and 1 in the second half of that game. And Lexington, blew them out here in the Valley 5-0. But the last 3 games, they lost to Central Christian 2-1, and then I was at that Crestview game. They dominated that one, and then they were able to beat Highland as well, and they won those combined 15-1. So that they've had plenty of ups, and they can score the goals. But it's just when they play those those teams that are top tier, it's just they struggle to really get anything to go offensively. Their most impressive win for me, I haven't even wrote it down. I'm still kind of searching for it. It was hard for me to find on the schedule. I think tonight, if they're able to win this one, it would bode so well, not only for these kids on the field, but also the coaching staff. Give them some confidence for their guys before they head into postseason play.
Yeah, and certainly when they get there, it's not going to affect any of that. As we mentioned already, the tournament draw, it's already shaken out. We know who both of these teams are going to play. We'll talk about that a little bit during the match, but let's continue with the Clear Fork squad and Griffin Blakely. It is his night here tonight, and he's kind of an interesting combo, G, like some pizza and peanut butter together. I mean, he gets the job done. It's delicious, and he can do it both inside of the goal, and then if you put him out in the field, what do you think?
Well, I want to stop you there. Did you just hit me with pizza and peanut butter?
Have you tried it before?
I have never tried pizza and peanut butter.
I don't think I have either.
Okay.
But it would be an interesting combo, kind of like this guy.
It would be. He does it, not only, back there between the pipes, but he's also able, to get out on the field. He's going to be back there tonight, on senior night, the spot he wants to be able to play out to be able to help his Clear Fork Colts get a big win. So shout out to the senior. Expect him, be going through a lot of emotions back there as this be his last game here for the Clear Fork Colts. But before postseason play, they still got plenty of room, to go.
And he looks like a giant out there standing next to the freshman Colton Wenger, man. And then you see Connor, too, who's really slight in stature. I mean, Griffin, they've got him set up for success here on senior night, looking like he's about 6'10" out there. I think he's actually about 6'3", also a basketball player. Great ball skills, and I think that he brings the most value to the team when he is in the net. I know that they've got some quality backups around here, and they like to bring him out and put him at forward from time to time, but he really does go after the ball well, and now he's being announced to a large ovation here inside of the Colt Corral. All right, give me some keys to the contest. Let's begin with Ashland, G-Man. What says you about how the Arrows leave here tonight with victory number 6 in a row?
Well, for me, I think they got to assert their dominance, and they've been a team so far this season that they've been able to win at a high level. They've been able to to beat some of those tough competitions like the Lexingtons of the world. But tonight coming down on the road against Clear Fork, who has had their ups and downs of the season, assert your dominance, do what you do, come out of here in the season with a bang. They finished 2nd in the OCC, right behind Worcester for a reason. Come out and show why you're a dominant program here in the area.
And I'm going to go ahead and quote the great poet Soulja Boy here, and it's a little bit of a different variation, but we're going to go with keep your swag on, G. And I know that you know the song. Sometimes you take that look in the mirror and you just got to say, yeah, I'm getting money. That's what they've been doing. Keep getting that cash in early here tonight against Clear Fork. If you put them in a hole, we've seen at home that it's been very problematic for Clear Fork to try to dig themselves out of early deficits. So I just think that you got to keep that swag on. All right. For the Colts, I'll go first. I just say no loose change. And what does that mean? You got to protect your profits, man. When you're able to get into the attacking third, when you have the ball, don't give it away. My goodness, the last couple of times that we've been over here, that last connecting pass, so many turnovers, so many careless giveaways, and they just can't afford that. Not against this team, not a Division I opponent, not like the Ashland Arrows. Keep that loose change in your pocket. If you lose it into the cushions, sometimes you just never find it.
For me, Brian, I'm going with that. Use that 99 speed cheese to your advantage. They got guys with a ton of skill, up in the front with Jaden Beachy and, of course, Conner Hauger. I seen him have 5 goals against Cressy. Almost had the double hat trick, Brian. So they know how to get, goals in the back of the net. But as you mentioned, against the tougher competition, they've struggled when they get in a hole. It's hard for them to recover. So expect them and at least hope for them, if you're a Clear Fork fan, to start fast and use that speed to your advantage.
Hey, you talk about the 5 goals for Conner, almost dropping a 6-piece with some extra sauce out there in Cougar country. He's got 24 goals on the year. He's also the top assist man for Clear Fork this season with 13. So him and Beachy, they have been the 2 straws. It's like the drink that the bartender gives you, and it comes with that extra one. They've both been stirring around in the ice cubes so far this season, and here's a good look at all the success that Conner was able to have. They had the give and goes going. They got Storm Blunchley up there making great calls, and it's a great call anytime you can get it to Conner or certainly Jaden in the midfield. Just let them work, do their thing. You're going to have a lot of success, but against some of the better teams, that's been the problem, is that those two, they don't look like the same superstars that they do like when they go against a program such as Crestview.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The game that I got to see them against Lexington, Conner Hauger was nowhere to be found, as well as Jaden Beachy. Their offense was completely shut down. They only had 3 shots to their entire name throughout the entire game. Only 1 in the second half, and it was only a 1-0 game at half. They were right in it. They had a chance to come out in the second half and kind of get something to go, get some confidence, but Lexington shut that down quickly and really got out of here with a big 5-0 win. In Clear Fork, they've been able to respond, but against teams that you expect them to be able to respond against. And now at home tonight against Ashland, one of the tougher competition. Let's see how they fare. They've struggled against teams like this.
Where we never struggle is to get you, the fans, in the game. Drop us some comment bombs on the YouTube and the Facebook, and you will be a part of the broadcast. That's right. We want to hear from you. Who are your favorite players out there when awesome stuff happens? Let us know your thoughts on them, and then always love to find out where people are actually watching the contest from, because the beauty of the internet is that you can be out on a sandy beach right now, you could be in an igloo, it doesn't really matter as long as you got that Wi-Fi cooking. We've got the OH Report live and free as only we do. But the one thing that we don't have, it appears, is 2 officials.
Yep.
I see one here. Jess Brokaw, it looks like maybe she's going to grab a whistle, and the athletic director here for Clear Fork going to step in, be a line judge. I don't think that's true, but she was at least talking to the referee who was here and trying to figure some things out. And, we want to also throw out a plug for, if you've got any interest in being a referee, and it doesn't matter if it's for soccer, football, basketball, wrestling, there is such an outrageous shortage right now in the state of Ohio that it's causing problems like we're seeing right here. I don't believe that they were able to play a JV match today because there were no officials available. So it's something that there's a great need for. And if I wasn't up here calling the games, I might just throw my name in the hat and run down there and grab a whistle.
I was about to say, Brian, I know you got a little bit of experience, kind of the youth level, but at this point, I think they'll take what they can get, and I think they're going to put 10 minutes on the clock, Brian.
Okay.
Yeah, so 10 minutes has been loaded on the clock here.
So we're going to need to definitely find plenty of filler. So pizza and peanut butter we brought up earlier, or at least I did, and then you were baffled. What does that mean? Well, nothing that I've ever tried. So what is a unique combo or topping on a pizza, G? Because I hear last week maybe on a volleyball match that there was a lot of outrage you hear from our very own Hayden Gray that chimes in and just says, cheese pizza is the best pizza, which of course that's terrible. That's not
horrible.
True. You got to have toppings, at least 3, I think, to have like a really quality pie. But have you ever had anything super interesting? And while you're answering that, I'm going to dive deep into my memory bank and think if I've done anything that's a little out there.
For pizza?
Yeah.
Now, I like barbecue sauce, so not a lot of people do that. So I would say barbecue on pizza, but that's not like exotic and crazy, I would say.
Yeah, especially I've seen barbecue chicken pizzas at like Papa John's before. I think I've ordered one, and very delightful, I must say.
Now, if it's not pizza, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I've actually, when I was younger, I used to dip chicken nuggets in barbecue sauce and then into a Frosty.
Oh.
So that's a bit out there.
That would be like peanut butter and pizza. That's a
Yeah.
good comparison. That works. The craziest pizza topping. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've had Hollywood Casino, and they got rid of this. It's off menu now, but they have a fig and goat cheese pizza that evidently only me and Jory were eating, so they don't offer it anymore. But figs, that's the only place that I've ever seen that offered those on a pie, but it brought some good, like, sugary mix into the pizza. Never tried anchovies. Have not been that brave before. Yeah, our producer Adam just says it's just kind of like an MSG rush. It's really all you're getting there. But I don't like messing up my pies. If I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have the carb overload and I'm going to have the bread and the cheese and everything, I don't want to mess it up. I want to get something that I want to eat, and I'm usually just an all-meat kind of guy. I'll maybe sprinkle in some mushrooms here and there, but typically if you're putting a meat on it, I'll go up to 20 meats. I don't care. It works.
I'm trying to think of what my go-to pizza would be. I think ranch has to be involved, but that could be a side dip.
Definitely.
So I would say, like, mine would be pepperoni, bacon, chicken,
okay,
sausage, onions, green peppers. No, I don't like mushrooms, so I wouldn't say mushrooms. I think that will probably be my go-to. That's kind of loaded.
Okay, now I mentioned 20 meats. So now the new question, G-Man, we're going to play Can You Name 20 Meats?
Just that would go on a pizza or just in general?
Just in general. I'm going to keep count here. Go ahead.
Pork.
Yep.
Beef.
2.
Chicken.
3.
Barbacoa.
4.
Steak.
All right, we're 1/4 of the way through.
Now, do like each steak count, like different steaks, or is it just one steak? Because it's technically a different type of like.
Yeah,
beef.
it's different cuts of the creature. So, no, let's just go with. We're just gonna keep steak at steak.
Okay.
And you already said beef, right?
Yeah, I said beef.
Okay, so we're at 5.
Now, is ham a meat?
Yeah, ham's a meat.
Okay, ham.
It's pig.
Turkey.
Sure.
What am I at? 7?
We're at 7.
This is hard. I said pork, right?
You did.
Am I missing a big one?
Hopefully the audience out there will play along and can help out. There's duck.
Duck.
So that's 8. You know, there's lots of different types of pheasants that you can eat, definitely.
I don't even know if is there even 20 meats in the world that like I know of?
Yeah, I mean, shrimp. Okay. Scallops. That's 10.
Is fish a meat?
Of course it's a meat.
Okay, fish. I don't eat fish, so I don't research it.
Yeah, and we'll put all the fish into one category because obviously there's lots of different kinds, salmon, tilapia, so on, yellowtail. There's a bunch out there, so we'll just go fishes at its own little category. We're only at 10 though. Long way to go. Halfway home.
This is tough.
Is calamari its own little creature?
Yes, we're making it. That's it.
So that's squid. So that's 11.
It's coming to me.
I've had frog legs before. 12.
Is crab?
Yeah, 13. Lobster. 14.
Lamb?
15. Now we're cooking. Sheep.
16. Oh, that's lamb. That is.
Oh.
He's right.
Yep. tried to sneak the grown-up version in there. Not getting past Adam. Not today, buddy.
Venison?
Well, I think that's still just beef.
Dang it.
Oh, that's deer.
That's
okay,
deer,
all right. Take it. Elk. 17. Now we're just naming creatures, but I guess that's all this is. Meat is creatures. So 3 more, G-Man. You know, this was just a one-time deal for me, but I did eat mountain lion once.
How was that? How's that experience?
It wasn't good. It didn't have a whole lot of flavor, and then the consistency of the meat was poor too. I don't remember why my uncle had mountain lion meat, but he did bring it over, and I had it. How about?
What about like bison?
Okay, so 19.
Hold on. I just had it. I just had the last one.
What about eggs?
That's meat?
Yeah, it's close.
What about like boar? Like a wild boar?
Ding, ding, ding. All right, 20 meats. We did it. Dude, when we were only at 5,
Yeah, I know.
I was really questioning myself. Are there 20 types of meat? But of course there are. You know, there's so many creatures out there. We just don't eat a lot of them. Hey, G, if I made a pizza and we crammed, little cuts of all that on top, you're going to eat it, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, I've never had frog or lobster or crab.
Oh, wow. Yeah, lobster's definitely one that you gotta get into that.
Right.
Or you gotta get that into your bread basket at some point.
Now I'm starving.
Yeah, I saw that they got nachos and jalapenos.
Ooh.
Definitely down at the concession stand. I heard Coach Hostler before the match. He was requesting that with it when his assistant went over, and I think he was actually going to get some. So as I'm looking over to the sideline, I'm wondering if he's diving into some nice cheesy chips right now. It looks like he's walking back out onto the field, kind of wiping his lips. I think he did. And he mentioned also that they've got an awesome candy bag that's a community bag over on the sideline. He didn't know exactly how many different styles and flavors they had, but plenty. And that kind of keeps the juices flowing for them. And I've seen that with a lot of sports teams. I would say most notably softball. Madison Lady Rams, always a team that they've got huge big bags of candy always on the sideline. So my sugar fix when I cover certain squads around the area goes way up, and I guess I appreciate it.
Look at this.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player back in his heyday. He played at Ashland. This is his alma mater. I think he said that he had almost 30 goals, or did have 30 goals in a season once. That's a good amount.
I think there's a nachos right there underneath the seat.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that looks like popcorn. But, oh, yeah, under the seat. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, he got him. Yeah. He got him. Okay, so we're actively searching for just anybody in the stadium. Maybe they're bored because they're waiting for the other referee to pop up here.
I think he's here, Brian.
Oh, maybe Brokaw's going to bring us home? Oh, you think the other ref is here?
I think he's here.
Oh, look at this triumphant entrance.
Bingo.
This is amazing. And for those of you maybe watching at home that you're like, man, just show up on time, I guarantee this poor lad just came from reffing another game and had to drive over here immediately, because that is how few of officials that we have right now, not just in North Central Ohio, but the entire state, where, I mean, they're having to do multiple matches per day just to accommodate the varsity. And a lot of JV games are being lost right now, G. It's a tough time right now for Ohio high school sports, and hopefully the younger generation steps up at some point, because that's the problem, is that a lot of the older people are kind of aging out, and we don't have enough youngins to fill the gaps.
Yeah, it's sad to see. You want to be able to get these JV guys, to be able to play too, to get them some experience before they head on the varsity ranks, and then, it's just a lost art. We need some people to step up. So if you're interested in reffing, don't be afraid to get out there, and help some of these guys out, because I'm sure, they'd really appreciate it.
We know certainly here on the OH Report we would appreciate it, so we're not naming 20 meets instead of calling a soccer match. Got a hypothetical here, G. 40 minutes added for every goal made, or you lose a player after scoring. What would you think about that?
40.
That's just too much time.
We'd be here for days.
It'd be like one of those cricket matches.
Well, like Lexington scored 5. So the first half would have been 80 minutes. Second half would have been 4 times 40.
Oh, here we go. I'm opening up the Facebook comment section, and I see Tracy. Not only is she cheering on the Colts, she was also trying to help us out. She dropped us the venison And the elk, she said it's awesome. I have had elk many, many a times growing up where I did out in Colorado. Tons of them out there. Jasmine says that she's tried horse, but it's so gross, and that she's got the pukey face. Jasmine also says, no way. Elk grosses her out. But Carissa has been to the Amazon and eaten alligator in Brazil.
I forgot about alligator. I knew that one.
Now, I've had what was called gator bites when I was in South Carolina. We ordered that. I don't remember if they said that it was actual gator, but I would hope so.
Yes.
Oh, and here's a fun fact from Ryan Hosler. He says Coach Hosler does not eat cheese pizza or cheese on his pizza.
Oh, no.
So he just straight sauce and meat or whatever topping.
Now, here's my thing. I would rather eat a pizza with no cheese than no sauce. I can't do that much cheese.
Yeah, the sauce is very key. But so is the cheese. Man, I'm going to have to really think about this one. I'm going to need a couple days. As this one missiled just outside of the window of the goal there. You saw Blakely make the proper decision to not touch it. And we've got him setting up for the goal kick using the left leg. It's going to be one out of the air here by Ashland and Roman Ramirez, senior midfielder, and a lot of seniors on this Ashland team, so it's quite a different look from Clear Fork that you look at what they'll have coming back next year. Oh, everybody except for the keeper. And then for Ashland, a lot of their top guys and most of the starters are going to be graduating, and they really feel like they got a solid tournament draw, G-Man, and they're pretty pumped about going into the postseason where they haven't had a ton of success here as of late, but for the third time in 4 years under Coach Hosler, they will be playing at home in the tournament and playing on the grass. They said that they don't play as well on the turf as they do on the grass. I think it was the first coach I've ever heard say that.
We talked about that the last time we called a game, Brian, about the difference between turf and grass. Turf definitely slows the ball down, so it will help out the keeper in a way, to be able to block some goals, some shots. But on turf, I feel like it's much, much faster. Pace of play, at least.
No question. Oh, yeah. It's a huge difference playing on the slicker surface, too, of the turf versus the grass. As we've got not one, but two improper throw-ins. That's such a rare call at the high school level. Now, when I'm reffing the 7-year-olds, you see that from time to time, but not usually in the varsity ranks up here. Here comes Ashland throwing on the counterattack. As Berenson lays it off to the middle. Give and go. Good looking setup for Ramirez, who shoots just about a foot wide.
Wow, what a golden opportunity there for the Arrows and Ramirez. Just not able to cash in. Take a look at the replay here. Just barely misses that back right corner.
Take a look at the starting lineups here. Begin with the Ashland Arrows, and I talked about all the seniors that they have in the mix. Most of them, including Thompson in the net, Myers, Ramirez, also a senior, as is Sherrick and Hunt, and Davis as well. So a very veteran club out here for Ashland. And then on the other side, Griffin, of course, honored tonight, the lone 12th grader on the roster. So much great quality youth. Conner Hauger, of course, I mean, he's that dude around here. All those goals that he's had, 24, 13 assists. Then you look at Beachy in the midfield. But a pretty decent back line as well for Clear Fork. Probably don't get talked about enough, but I think that has to go with kind of the up and down season that they've had where, plenty of shutouts for Clear Fork, but they've also had matches where they've had, 5 goals dropped on them, 4 a little while back against Highland. So bit of an up and down season for Clear Fork, to say the least.
Yeah, they struggled against some of those tougher clubs and tougher programs, but an opportunity here, against Ashland, if they can get going, get some confidence for postseason play, it will do wonders. for some of these players on the field, especially, being so young and being a younger team, kind of would galvanize them before heading into postseason play.
Here's Hauger trying to make a move through a triple team. Not sure how he got the rock back in for a second time. I mean, he really does have magician-like skills. As they'll lay it to the outside, back through the middle. Clearly trying to key on Conner. Sometimes it just doesn't matter. So gifted with the ball at his feet. He's one of those kids that I feel like he's probably just more confident when he has a soccer ball with him than he is just walking or running. Just had one down by his toes ever since he was a young lad, and it definitely shows with all the success that he's had over these last few seasons. 3-year starter for Clear Fork, who's looking to work it down the wing now. Good looking setup. Swandall with the cross inside for Beachy. But Driscoll and company able to take it away, and now Ramirez. Arrows, great spacing here. Give and go with Myers. He's able to send it out to the left wing. Colts packing it in pretty tight right now. They got 9 guys with inside the box, and again, big shot from outside, but Ashland has not been able to put anything on frame just yet.
I've had a couple of those shots so far here early for the Arrows, just taking shots at will, making the senior back there work on senior night, getting his money's worth back there. But so far, nothing, too close to make Blakely really work back there. So we'll see if Ashland continues this attack or they maybe try to work a little bit closer to the box.
Just over 6 minutes gone by. Ashland looking for their 4th shot of the match. Instead, it's going to be deflected out of play. Saw Schneider try to deliver a cross here, but well defended by McCauley. Another one of these youngsters, sophomore, getting the start in the defensive backfield. A lot of giveaways. Now ends up with Beachy, who gets surrounded. Nearly turned it over, but here comes Clear Fork taking their time, trying to set up the counterattack. Then they turn it over. And just back and forth we go, pinballing our way out of bounds here. It will be an Ashland throw on the near side. And that time, hey, Davis got it in without a whistle. He's 1 for 3.
A lot of turnovers so far, Brian. What's your favorite kind of turnover?
I think it's kind of an underrated breakfast dish. I think that the donut gets a little bit too much love and play. I definitely think that I'm just kind of like a blueberry guy. Maybe apple. Those would be my top 2. Just don't give me cherry. I don't want a cherry turnover.
See, a low-key thing that I don't know if these are the same or different. I think that they're different. Or maybe it's just a different term for it. But a Danish, are those different things?
Well, yeah.
They're kind of the same thing.
They're going to be a little bit different. A Danish typically kind of an open face style of pastry, whereas the turnover, it's all wrapped up into one hidden dish where the sweet stuff is on the inside, G-Man.
See, I love Danishes.
Yeah, you like the cream cheese the best? Or you need a flavor in there?
No, I got to have a flavor. It would probably be like an apple.
Hard to go
wrong.
wrong.
I also don't like cherry stuff either, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, now cherries like the ones that they put like in a cocktail or something. I think they're just called cocktail cherries. Those are delicious. But when you start trying to add them to my pies and my turnovers and stuff, it just doesn't work. It feels like it's a little bit different flavor. It's changed. Maraschino cherries is the specific term. And how about this? That would have been good for football, of course, but Berenson zips it through the uprights. 4 shots for Ashland, all of them out of bounds.
Now, have you ever had like a Rainer cherry, Brian?
A Rainer cherry?
Yeah.
I don't know that I am familiar with what that means.
They're like a little bit lighter cherry in color. They're like yellowish, kind of. I don't like them either. Just not a cherry guy. I don't like dealing with the stem when I eat a cherry, so
Yeah, Adam says it seems like something that would be at his grandma's house that's just like off limits that you're not supposed to eat anywhere. It's just kind of there for decoration in a jar or something. As this is a nice charge here by Berenson. Running into a double team. Big fight. Clear Fork not able to clear. Ashland sticking with it. Another deflection here off the shot from Roberts. That one turned over. Clear Fork has not had much time of possession so far in these opening 10 minutes. We saw Conner cooking for a little while in the first couple. Since then, mostly just been sitting back, trying to defend, as no whistle for offside. It clearly looked like it was from Sherrick, but he wasn't even able to get a piece of it, as that one goes out of bounds. Another look here on the instant replay. I mean, come on. There's no way he's that fast.
Right. Maybe they were thinking about what was their favorite turnover, Brian, down there on the field, too.
I hope so, but sometimes, you start thinking about food, you just get lost.
Yeah.
Okay? That kind of consumes every little cell that your brain's able to fire off. As Ashland firing off here, back post. I think Blakely had to get a piece of that one. Maybe not.
I initially thought he didn't touch it, but
let's see. This is a great build. Sherrick on the outside. And he just one-times it. Yeah. Definitely just sailed wide of frame. And so Griff still has not touched one yet. 5 shots for Ashland. And the senior on senior night, though it feels like he's being tested, he actually hasn't had to do anything except for these goal kicks off the restart. And Ashland continuing to keep the pressure on here. As this one zipped in there. Owen again. Looked like he was a step offside. Didn't draw a whistle. And now Griffin does get his mitts on the ball. First save for him.
It's like 2 in a row now where Sherrick has looked, a couple steps off sides, but nonetheless it hasn't resulted in anything anyway.
And now the referee is right there. So he's out of frame for us on these instant replays. It's possible that 99 speed that you were talking about Clear Fork has, maybe he's got like 102 speed, and he is just blowing by guys. I'm definitely going to keep a more watchful eye. What a season for Sherrick so far. 14 goals, 8 assists. Both of those tops on the team. 50 points in the soccer universe, which is pretty good. And I was asking the coaching staff if either he or Aiden were ranking anywhere in terms of like season marks or career marks. And they've had a lot of success here at Ashland. And the answer was no. But still, quality year. And like I was talking about how excited they are to get into the tournament, avoiding some of the top teams. So that the top 2 seeds in Ashland's Division I district, they're kind of out of the picture until they would get deeper into the tournament. So they come right out of the gates. They get a bye in the opening round, and then they're the number 8 seed. They get to play at home for a sectional title, against Fremont Ross, who they don't feel like is a pushover by any means, but that's a good way to start off the tournament against a 13 seed playing at home, and Ashland feels like they've got what it takes to move on to the district. Will likely match up with Sylvania Southview in that district semifinal, and then anything goes once you start getting that deep in the tournament, certainly in Division I, where it's been tough sledding for the Arrows for quite a few seasons.
Anytime playing in that high of a Division I, it's just feels like almost every single game's a toss-up. Confident, going in that first game against Fremont Ross. Let's see if they can continue it. But, Ashland struggled in postseason success. Let's see if maybe they can flip a switch and flip the script here this season because, they got a solid squad. They competed with the likes of Lexington, beat them, but weren't able to, hang on against Worcester, one of the tougher teams, too, in the area. But solid season so far here for the Arrows.
Yeah, Worcester actually beat them up pretty good, 6-1 in their meeting. That was on the road, though, for Ashland. Worcester, of course, the undefeated OCC champions, locked up their 9th conference title since 2003. Blakely hits his knees, comes up with save number 2.
Great save right there from Blakely. Didn't have to do much, but still able to cradle that baby and still keep it scoreless here at 0s.
And for Clear Fork, here at home, you talk about that Lexington match where they only put 3 shots out the entire game, only 1 on frame if memory serves. They've got no shots so far here, 15 minutes into this one, G. As Griffin does make a great read coming off of his line, able to grab that one before it allowed a couple of Ashland guys to come in and really make this a dangerous play.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that game against Lexington, Blakely was out in the field.
Correct.
It's a little bit different here tonight on senior night. Getting to play between the pipes back there, but kind of the same story here early as it was against Lexington. Clear Fork not really able to get any time of possession. It's been mostly Ashland. Ashland's only had a couple really solid shots, on goal. Other than that, it's been mostly kind of just firing away from outside the box and maybe hoping it's on frame and the goalie makes a mistake. But so far, it's been all arrows here early.
Now we're posing the question here to you, the viewing audience, of who are the area's top teams? And we'll talk about the boys here for a minute. I know that we're going to find out from the best and brightest here in the area, and you always get brighter with Ryder. Jesse Ryder is the host of the Soccer Locker, and the freshest episode that was just filmed today will be released tonight, as Hauger on the run had it poked away. But from who you've seen so far, Garrett, do you have a top 3 in mind of the best boys teams in the area, kind of regardless of division? So don't think about, hey, this D1 team against the D3 and I'm going to pick the D1. Think about who they're actually going to match up with when it matters in the tournament and who you feel like are the top 3 given where they're placed in terms of their districts, regions, all that.
Well, I know that they beat them in the regular season, but the best team that I've seen so far is Lexington. I've seen Worcester, but they fell, so they'd probably be 1A and 1B. I know Worcester handled them in postseason plays. Here's a shot, but that'll be saved from Griffin back there. But I would say Lexington and Worcester, 1A, 1B. Now, third team, it's kind of hard to come up one. I think that there's a big gap in between those two schools. Ashland is my first time seeing them, so they might catapult themselves up in that conversation too for possibly even second slot. So I would say Worcester and Lexington are definitely my 2 favorites in the area, the 2 best teams that I've saw so far. Worcester, when I saw them, they fell to Massillon Jackson. I know that they're a very tough team too, but
sure,
I expected them to be able to come out with that one. They had the 1-0 lead at half, but kind of surrendered that one. But Lexington had a dominant performance almost every single time I've seen them, so I'd probably go Lex and Worcester are my top 2. I don't really have a 3. Probably be Ashland. Only seen them though for about 18 minutes.
I'm going to agree with those top 2. I think that they were properly rated. You got to give the nod to Worcester winning the head-to-head with Lexington. And as far as a third team, Ontario has good-looking players. When they turn it on, they're great. And this Ashland club also my first time getting to see them, so I'll kind of make an evaluation as the night runs along. But that is now 9 shots for Ashland, 4 of them on frame. Of course, nothing to show for it, but definitely dictating a lot of the pace. They're having the run of play here and just leaving it to Clear Fork to get down onto this end, and this is where the problem happens, G. Once they get inside that football 30-yard line, it's over. They're turning it over routinely.
Yeah, they've struggled. A beautiful setup here is Ashland trying to get a goal off, but Blakely back there with a gorgeous save as we keep it not at 0s.
Excellent delivery here for Sherrick, who brought it out wide. A little bit of a push off there, perhaps, to get some space off of McCauley, but then the shot ripped. Give a lot of credit, of course, to the keeper for keeping the clean sheet on that one. But it will set up corner kick number 1 for the Arrows here tonight. And curious to see, this is our first set piece as well for either side. Kind of how they run things, as they've got Schneider delivering it in. It's a low line driver. Definitely took Blakely down to the ground as they had him marked up. But they're able to get out of harm's way with just a goal kick again, as we're watching it all over again on the Maumee Bay replay.
So busy senior night here so far for Griff back there. You know, he hasn't had, to get his hands on the ball a ton of times, but now that the match is beginning to kind of wear down, first half, about halfway through, as time goes on, Ashland begins to get better shots each time that, they attack that goal. So, one of these is going to be a great setup. We'll see if Ashland can finally get us a go here.
Wow, another good-looking shot, a missile. And the Arrows, it seems like they're bringing it down a little bit more now. They're getting closer. But certainly love the creativity, and obviously the green light's on all the time, man. This like that Motel 6. Anybody is allowed to uncork one from distance. Driscoll, the latest, just misfiring over the top as we're halfway through this first half. A little bit of a chilly night here, and an observation that I made, we were down at the Colt Corral just last Thursday. It's been approximately 1 week, G, and my drive down Route 13, all green trees. No color really to any of them. Today, no green leaves at all, as that one is murdered over the top yet again. It's amazing how 1 week we went from it's still looking like summer outside to now it's unquestionably fall. Everything red, yellow, all the colors coming into the mix.
Really begins to sneak up on you, too. We're already about midway through October, and, it's beginning to feel like fall, too. It goes by quick. It happens pretty fast, and summer quickly fading away as now temperatures
But they're at least maintaining possession here, and that's some good creativity. Him and Beachy, two-man game, but running into a wall back there with Ashland, and they've been so stout defensively. Look at all the shutouts that they've been pitching here, and during this 5-match win streak, 17-1. They have outscored the opposition. The lone goal allowed to Oregon Clay on the road. So this is a team that's definitely got a lot of confidence on that back line, and most of it probably stemming from the fact that their midfield and their forwards, certainly up top, they're able to hang on to the ball. They make smart passes. They find feet, and they're just able to just hang on to the thing for a long time.
That's what makes their defense so great.
See if we get another shot from distance here instead. Looking to squeeze it through for Sherrick. But it's poked out of bounds by Clear Fork. I thought we were going to see Ramirez unload from 40 yards.
Seen it all night. Kind of, a little surprised he did uncork one right there. They've been kind of shooting at will, and I like that strategy. Make the keeper work back there, and here could be an opportunity here for the Arrows.
Sherrick with the delivery. Ramirez, heavy first touch, but it winds up at the left foot. Berenson misses that one out wide, though. 13 shots now, though, for the Arrows, as they have been busy tonight in the attacking third, but so far nothing to show for it, as we're all scoreless.
Seems a bit like deja vu from last week against Lexington. Lexington is kind of the same story in the first half. They couldn't get a goal. They had a lot of shots, but they only had the one goal at the halftime break. Kind of the same story as Ashland. They're dominating time of possession. They're getting a lot of shots. Just none of them able to fall in the back of the net. And some of those are from great saves from Blakely's. This one just falls out of reach of Ashland. This will be a goal kick here for Griff.
A little too close for comfort if you're a Clear Fork fan, as this would have been set up by some friendly fire. Bronson Frost, the sophomore, deflected. Not able to get a piece of it on the back end, though, is Ashland. So another goal kick on the way here for Griffin. As that left foot, it's got to be getting a little bit worn out at this point. He's handled a lot of these.
Yeah, this has been a dominating performance here from Ashland. Haven't been able to cash in on any goals, but making Griffin work back there. I mean, there's only been a couple times where Clear Forks even had the ball, past the 50.
Definitely have not been able to maintain possession when they've been able to do that. Ramirez on the carry. Into traffic, and the last touch got away from him. Now working through the far side with the freshman Howman who checked in. And for Clear Fork, fortunate that that one's going to end up at the feet of Hauger. But look at all the white jerseys that kind of swarm around into the vicinity. And the Colts give it away to the back line of Ashland. Now the Arrows, plenty of space here in the midfield, and that's been available basically all night for them when they've wanted it. Because you see all the Colts defenders packing back inside that 18. They've made it tough for Ashland at times when they've been able to get into the box. And this is exactly what Clear Fork needs. This is how they're going to be able to get on the board if they can. As Beachy set it up beautifully up top. But Nick Martin just wasn't able to get a very aggressive piece of it. And now the Arrows clear it.
Well, that was Clear Fork's best opportunity here all night, but still not able to capitalize. There's two Ashland defenders, all over that one, plus the goalkeeper too, but should be a free kick here for the Colts.
Yeah, what a shot or a setup there by Beachy. I guess it wasn't even a shot from Martin.
Yeah.
It's actually a defender who got a piece of it. So I'm going to take the shot away off my score sheet here. So Clear Fork still kind of searching for that first one. They should be able to get something here off of this set piece, as they've got it teed up and zip it over top, though, from the right foot of Bronson Frost. So I guess we'll go ahead and make that check mark again there at the shots.
Yeah, Frost trying to get something to go here. Play the hero right here. Get it to go in the back of the net, but just too much. As that one sails over top, and that'll be their first shot of the night here. A decent one.
Comes just over 17 minutes into the contest. This started a little bit late here if you're just joining us. The referee shortage in full view tonight. And give a lot of credit to these guys, zipping all around North Central Ohio to make sure that we're even allowed to have varsity contests. Yes, that's a nice job of recovering from Bryson Schaffner. But then the traffic, Hauger has his pocket picked. A little bit of careless play right now from both sides. Though the Arrows with Driscoll keeping possession. Trying to advance, and they will. Get it to Ramirez. Makes a nice move going down to the touch line. It's down on the ground off the spill from Blakely. And Sherrick, for about the fourth time, he just can't seem to keep the ball down on those big shots.
Great opportunity, Ramirez. Not sure if he was trying to cross it or try to get a shot on it, but a little bit too late for a cross. Is Blakely able to get a hand on it? Able to stop it? Is it Ashland still scoreless as they've been firing at will, continuing to rack up these shots.
Griff's got 6 saves so far here on senior night. And, hey, giving his guys a chance, even though Clear Fork has basically done nothing offensively. That is the gift and the curse of the beautiful game, is as long as you keep that clean sheet, man, you can just stay right in the ball game, and all you need to do is just pop one deep one through the middle, get some of your studs like Hauger to make a nice run, and they can even go on top. Just too much craftiness on that back line, though, for Ashland so far. They have been prepared for everything Clear Fork's thrown at them up to this point. Now down the left side, here comes Martin. Knocked out of bounds. I think it's going to be a corner kick opportunity.
See if they play this one a little bit different. Last time it was kind of a line drive. See if they try to float this one and see if someone can get a head on it and, you know, knock this one in.
Well played near post, knocked out of there by Dudley. Chased down by Howman. And Ashland's going to get in some substitutions. The freshman checking out. 2 fresh bodies back into the fold. On a bit of a chilly night here at the Colt Corral. It was pretty nice when we first arrived here about 5:15 and down on the field about 20 minutes before the match was supposed to start. Definitely the breeze started coming through and the chill factor, the fall, started to hit.
You know, some of these, these tackles, Brian, and sometimes when the ball gets away from you and hits you, when it gets colder, it begins to be, be a little bit tougher to take some of those hits and some of those bruises.
Yeah, no question about that. Not a great ball that time from Owen Bourne. Colts trying to clear it, but right at the feet of Davis, who he gives it away. Now here's a great ball, just trying to set up Beachy, allow him to run under it, and he's able to do just that, but nobody working behind him. That's the problem when you kind of get stuck in that mindset of sitting back and defending. You start losing some of that hunger to start charging towards net, or at least it doesn't seem as normal when you're starting to get on the attack. Nice job of utilizing the body that time by Roberts. But it's going to sneak out. Beachy trying to make a play. Cleared by Hunt. He's been phenomenal so far from that center back role. Nothing has really gotten by him. As we're down to 7:20 remaining in the opening half. Boys non-conference soccer here tonight at the Colt Corral. And this one, lasered off target from Driscoll. That one was a little bit closer than some of the earlier shots.
Yeah, hit one of the students over there in the student section. Take a look on the replay.
Had his back turned.
Got to keep that head on a swivel, Brian.
Yeah, you got to pay attention when you're out here at the match. You might just be a casualty. So certainly right there. Now I see the gentleman in the varsity leather jacket. He's paying attention at this point.
He's locked in. He paid his dues.
Yeah. So they had his attention. Now Driscoll's got his curiosity. That's what just happened right there. I know you're not a movie guy, G, but you know that quote?
I do not.
You do not? Of course you don't. Why do I ask? What was the last movie you watched? A full movie.
Full movie?
Oh, the setup to the middle of the park. Busted up last minute by Wilson.
It might have been Halloween, and the new Halloween movie.
Well, 'tis the season.
Comes out tonight. The new one.
Oh, wow. Did they say, what, Halloween ends?
Halloween ends. That's the title of it. Yeah.
That's what they're telling us.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I feel like they've been telling us that like since Halloween Part 2. All the way back in the Jamie Lee Curtis years in the 70s.
My problems with movies is I grow attached to like the select few that I have watched, to where like when someone's like, let's watch a movie, I'm like, okay, let's just watch this one, the one that I've seen, 300 times.
Well, what are those?
That's
What have you seen?
Have you ever heard of The Other Guys with Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg?
Well, of course. Classic.
I love that movie. I love Cop Out with Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis. Let me see. I don't know if you know this movie. I just recently realized that I've watched this movie. Have you ever watched 3,000 Miles of Graceland?
No, I haven't. Is that an Elvis thing?
Yes, it is.
I have
and
not
I actually
watched
like
it.
it was when I was younger. I just remembered it the other day, actually. I don't know if it's good or not, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact there. No whistle as Beachy got a little bit tangled up with Driscoll. Yeah, looking at the filmography here for your 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
I think Kevin Costner's in it. That's like my mom's favorite
Yeah,
actor.
definitely him. Kurt Russell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Christian Slater. A lot of stars in there.
Another field goal here from the Arrows.
I mean, if these counted for anything, they'd be dominating. I believe that's like their 5th made field goal tonight.
Yeah, it's like 15-0 in football terms.
Did you see the student section? Gee, they're getting a little gun shy back there now. When the shots are coming now, they're like, oh, jeez.
Took that one on the chin, too.
Big ball through the middle of the park, headed right back at him by Hunt. And it drops in front of Myers. Gets in a little bit of a tussle. Regains possession now, does trace. And this shot arcing just over frame. And man, have they been close, but Blakely doing his thing, 0-0, keeping a 0 up there.
This is probably one of the best shots of the night for Ashland. This one almost sneaks in right over top, but just too much height. Blakely able to keep that one out. And the senior.
Those are the shots from distance that I think I prefer. If you're able to deliver them from the wing, it's kind of hard getting that perspective on the angle sometimes. But we see a lot of those drop in there because it's just tough to tell when it comes from the wing. When it's straight on, I mean, of these 18 shots Ashland has, most of them have come straight on, and that's when they just, they fly over and give you no chance. Starting to run out of chances here in this opening half for either side to score. Handled by Griff. Save number 7 so far.
Making them work back there. Any chance they get, they're letting them rip. They're trying to get any opportunity, maybe of a miscue from Griffin back there. Maybe the ball slips through his legs. But so far, he's been spot on.
Have you noticed how physical the refs have allowed this match to be? As there's another shot on frame by Roberts, the freshman.
There's been a lot of tugging back and forth. And I like that. I like physicality. Definitely
gets you ready for tournament time. It feels like in every sport for some reason, and I don't know why, but the referees, they kind of start swallowing their whistles a little bit. They let the players definitely decide the contest, and I think soccer, maybe more than any other, it definitely seems like the physicality gets ramped up when you're into the postseason, as this will be corner number 3.
I think just a little bit of that just goes to maybe they just want to stay out of the way. They don't want the game to be decided by themselves, and here's a cross from the Arrows. Blakely comes out.
Oh, wow.
And they're able to clear it on the Colts.
He was way out of position there, so definitely lucky, as you see in the Maumee Bay Turf Center replay, that there wasn't anybody lurking back post. Schneider was there, but there was 3 Colts defenders in between he and the net. And we're down to our final 60 seconds. Colts got to be real happy taking this one into the half if they're still knotted up at zeros, as they have allowed 20 shots so far from Ashland.
on pace for 40 in the match so far for Ashland. That's absolutely incredible. But some of those shots have been from distance, but still, nonetheless, they've had great looks here. Just none able to cash in, and some of that is from Blakely back there, stopping everything coming his way. Keeping us knotted at 0 here on senior night.
Sherrick drifts a nice ball up top. It's busted up, kept in the field of play by Nick Martin. As we're down to 10 seconds to go. Final opportunity here. And this shot deflected out of there. We are headed into the half, still tied at 0s as Clear Fork does a nice job of defending, but that gentleman right there, Conner Hauger, not enough touches and opportunities in the attacking third. Keep it with us. We'll be back to give you guys our opinion on what we just saw for 40 minutes. Also read some of your fan comments, give you some halftime stats, and get you ready for half number 2. So keep it here. It's live, it's free, and it's only on the OH Report.
Number 1 receiver coming from the Shelby Whippets, Isaiah Ramsey.
He's caught our attention over here, and we're certainly going to keep an eye on the Willard Flashes.
We will see you next week on the Stat Leaders, brought to you by Spitzer of Mansfield.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
I got involved in officiating volleyball 8 years after I played Division I in college.
Saying yes to volleyball officiating will give you the privilege to be a part of one of the most exciting sports around.
I'm a speaker,
a builder,
I coach,
culinary arts,
auditor,
a firefighter.
For anyone contemplating becoming a volleyball official,
just go for it.
Take the plunge, open the door.
Say yes to officiating. Learn more about how to get involved at sayyes2officiating.com.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
What's up, America? Brian Skowronski here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
is halftime at the fabulous Colt Corral in stunning Bellville, Ohio, though no gorgeous goals on either side. Through 40 minutes of action, we are all square at 0-0 through one half of play. I'm Brian Skowronski. Garret Parlett is with me, and who would have thought that the bulk of the action so far, G, would be us naming 20 meets, you know?
Yeah, I think we scored the only goal here tonight is
yeah, we accomplished ours.
Nothing on the scoreboard here from both sides, but Ashland, if you watch that first half, dominated. Not only, getting shots on net, getting shots in general, and time of possession. It was all arrows, all first half. Kind of the same story when the Colts took on Lexington. So let's see if Nate Gailey and company can maybe draw something up at the half to kind of get something going for their skill guys like Conner Hauger and Jaden Beachy.
We're going to pull up the halftime stats presented by Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvements, who are some of the best in the area at what they do. And Ashland, one of the best teams in the area. We were going back and forth about who we thought might be the third best or maybe even the second best squad here in North Central Ohio. And certainly the Arrows, though they have no goals to show for it, I think were really impressive to that first 20 minutes and definitely showcased to me that they've got about 4 guys that at any given time they can win their 1v1 matchups. They're smart with the ball offensively, and they've just been a hair off here or there trying to deliver on some of these big-time shots that they've uncorked. But that's kind of what Clear Fork is allowing right now. They're packing things back in the painted area inside of the 18G, and Ashland just has not been able to drill one right where they need to be. Maybe throw out some love, too, for Blakely for making it tough.
Yeah, Blakely back there, 8 saves so far here tonight. He's had his work cut out for him, but he's been able to come into tonight. They needed him. He's been able to deliver. He's kept us at a 0-0 game. It could be, a lot worse. Ashland kind of doing whatever they want, it seems. But as you mentioned, Clear Fork, have been able to at least keep those shots, from distance. Not a lot of those have been super close to the box that let Blakely, kind of make the decision whether he wants to go up and try to block them. Or most of them are just sailing over his head or sailing wide, left or right. So Clear Fork, they've done their job defensively, you could say, at least forcing it, Ashland not to have too many great shots, only 8 on goal, but still the offense is just not there. It's nowhere to be found. They got to get something going in the second half. They only got, the one shot to their name, and that was on a PK, on a free kick.
Want to throw out some love to our generous sponsors who bring you tonight's coverage live and free exclusively on the OH Report. How about Park National Bank, where you mean more? Maumee Bay Turf Center. At Maumee Bay Turf, it is simple. We build better. Love that slogan. Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvements, an Owens Corning preferred contractor providing all roofs with a 30-year warranty and 50-year lifetime warranty that is one-time transferable. So that means you are getting bang for your buck for the long run. Great stuff right there. Sutton Bank as well. Why don't you get checking that pays you with Kasasa? So, G-Man, as we head into half number 2 here, I think that there's a lot of things to consider, but more adjustments likely need to be made on the side of Clear Fork when you're just getting one shot so far up to this point. So, given that you've still got the clean sheet, 0, a goose egg up there, do you want to change very much if you're head coach Nate Gailey, or do you feel like even though we're still tied here, we've got no offense going in? Hello? The point of the game is to win. If you can't score, you can't win. Where would you side on trying to make any changes here in the second half?
Well, I think if you don't make any changes in the second half, some of those shots are going to go in for Ashland. Some of those were just, a bit unlucky. They had a couple shots, that had a chance to go in, just weren't able to do so. So I think just going into the halftime and not making an adjustment, I think is not going to be the recipe for success, Brian. But now I don't know if they need to change a ton. I just think that they got to get the offense going. I think the defense has been at least solid. They've made Ashland shoot from distance. Not a lot of shots, right in the face of Blakely, and he's been able to kind of do his job tonight on senior night. So I expect some changes primarily on the offensive side for Clear Fork. They got to get some of the skill guys involved.
And kind of the guy that they always look to out there at the center of the pitch, donning the number 4 on the back of his uniform. That, of course, Conner Hauger. He's joined by the freshman Nick Martin right now at the midfield. So those two will combine for the opening touch of the second half, likely. And he is coming off of a 5-goal performance that you saw with your own eyes, G-Man. What's Ashland doing that Crestview couldn't to number 4?
Against Crestview, he was just doing whatever he wanted to. He was making defenders look silly, but the defenders here from Ashland have shown up to play. And I think a big reason for that is Ashland's had the ball for so long. They've been controlling time possession. That's been their greatest defense. Is that Clear Fork hasn't even touched it a lot. They haven't even had it across the midline, other than a handful of times. So Ashland is doing a great job controlling the ball on offense and getting solid looks, and Clear Fork hasn't been able to do the same on the other side of the field. And they got to be able to get Hauger involved if they want a chance to win this game, against second in their conference, Ashland and the OCC.
As we open up the second half, we dive inside of the fan zone. Probably the best thing that we have here on the OH Report, allowing you to be part of the match. So keep the comments coming. And still, what a great debate. Would you rather have a pizza with no sauce or a pizza with no cheese like Coach Hostler eats? As Clear Fork has a decent build-up come to a close there. Such a unusual thing to not have pizza with all of the elements. Why do I have to choose? I just want it all. There's Ashland knocking another one through the uprights. Actually, hey, Clear Fork responsible for that one. And it'll lead to a quick set piece here, less than a minute in to half number 2. Ashland, who's had a couple of pretty decent looks off their 3 in the first half. Didn't really result in any great shots, though, as they've tried to go near post again with a little laser beam, and Clear Fork was waiting on it. Maybe kind of tipping the cards there in the first half, if that's the strategy. Arrows has flat out dominated the midfield play. I mean, the time of possession from them and the Clear Fork midfield gotta be 4-5 to 1. As there's another just missed opportunity for Ashland. And at some point, G-Man, you talked about the fact, that's close. One of these are going to go eventually. Maybe they don't. And there's a lot of frustration that starts building with Ashland, and then they start pressing a little bit.
Yeah, but that's a fine line you want to play if you want to play, what ifs. But Clear Fork, I just think they got to get a little bit more aggressive. I know they're kind of packing it down here defensively, not allowing Ashland to get a ton of great looks, but eventually Ashland's going to figure it out. They did on that, last try, just about a couple feet from that one falling in the back of the net, as Blakely wasn't able to get a hand on it. So Clear Fork, it seems as if they've been getting dominated, but it's still 0-0. It's a fresh game, so all they need is really one opportunity to get in the back of the net, and then they can hang their hat on the defensive end.
Arrow's going to work it down the far side now with Luke Driscoll. Sends this one down for Roberts, who's going to chase it down. Quick cross, and it's deflected out of there. It was Schaffner getting in between. And it's going to be out of bounds. Throw in. Coming up on the far side for the Arrows. Another one drifting into the corner. Wow, sick looking move to bring it back. But Clear Fork, they've been suffocating at times when Ashland's trying to line up for these big shots. Definitely sitting back right now, as you talked about. I mean, they got 4 players just outside the 18, and they're turning their midfielders into more of defensive players. So definitely going to be tough for Ashland to try to get a really good-looking shot on frame. But that hasn't stopped them from putting 21 shots so far up in this contest.
Thought the one they had just a couple minutes ago was their best shot here tonight. Ashland had a chance to put it in that bottom left corner, but not able to do so. Is now Clear Fork. Maybe a chance here. Ashland trying to clear it. That'll go off one of the Colts down there.
Deflected off of Bronson Frost. Ashland with a quick throw in. Worked it down the line. It leaks out to Frost. Oh, great looking ball to Hauger. His first touch. Man, look at how frustrated he is with himself. They've had so few opportunities, and that's un-Conner-like to not be able to make a play, but might get another shot at it here.
What a chance that would have been, too. Hauger, I think he would have had just another man to beat, and he would have been one-on-one with the keeper and could have set up great success for Clear Fork if they could get, the early lead here and make Ashland begin to play from behind.
I am pretty stunned that they blew that whistle because specifically of how much physicality they've allowed Owen Sherrick to play with tonight. That one, to me, felt pretty minuscule compared to some of the other ones. But maybe they saw the temperature drop like we do see here. And 47 degrees, a little bit crispy during the fall season. And Hauger, thought about it probably a little bit too long. Don't want to rush him, certainly. And now Sherrick, such great speed. Sends this one back post. Nobody home for Ashland. But, man, the team's speed has really been a big reason why Ashland's been able to hang on to the ball, as that's tipped up by Blakely. And maybe this the best shot so far of the night from Roman Ramirez.
Definitely the best save so far for Griffin tonight. He's been a workhorse back there. He's going to continue to do so. So here's a corner from the Arrows.
Put it right into the middle of the park. Dead set in front of the 6. Ramirez turned into some chaos. Had it poked away. Now Hauger. And a big ball down the middle of the field takes a hop right at the feet of Hunt. He's been just about perfect so far tonight. Martin has not really been tested that much. And Sherrick definitely with the speed to keep this one in play. See if he elects to go to the corner. He will. Left the defender in his wake. Actually sent Schaffner down to the turf, which is where Sherrick ends up. Now just a lot of Clear Fork players playing back right now. And let's take a look at the replay. Okay, so Owen makes a great move. Sends Schaffner to the ground, and then he turns inside. Boy, that's tough to tell. It kind of looked like a flop.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact there. Sherrick, too, was able to stay up on his feet. He had a one-on-one with Griffin.
See what Ashland's able to do with this possession. Another good-looking ball. Barrington plays it off the defender, so they'll earn yet another corner kick. Be the 5th opportunity that we get for Ashland so far in this contest. But we're at 48 minutes almost. And no goals, no scoring. See if Sebastian Roberts, the stud freshman, changes that here. Good looking ball. But Griff makes the play.
It's been rock solid back there. Griffin has all night. Continuing to add to his stats. How many saves is he up to now, Brian?
Double digits. That's number 10 so far for Blakely. Then you look on the other side. Poor Bryce Thompson's like, when am I going to get my chance?
It seems as if each time Blakely gets a chance to, make a save, the difficulty raises each time. So Ashland continuing to put it on. We'll see if they get a chance here.
Berenson, back post with that one. I think that he intended that. It's kind of a shot pass. If Sherrick can catch up, allow him to do something with it. But certainly the Coach Ryder always says when he's on the broadcast that this is the proper play. You want to go back post, certainly when you have friends with you as well. So I think that's the right soccer move Just a bit mismeasured that time. Oh, he sends it down to himself. But Clear Fork was able to recover that time. Now Schneider turns it back inside, looking for the cross. He'll send it and head it out of there by Dudley. And now Blakely able to collect the rock. Another look off the deflection that time. Griffin initially overstepped it. And Robert smelled blood, came charging in. That one's sky high, 50-50 ball. Looks like Clear Fork's going to win possession. What do they do with it, though, here? Let's see. Couple passes. They've got 2. It just feels like for Clear Fork, unfortunately, that there's an inevitable turnover that's coming at some point when they're able to get the possession of the ball. Have not taken great care. And when you think back to our keys to the game, G-Man, how about me? No loose change. It feels like they're just dropping quarters and dimes. You know, they're looking in the car seats and in the couch cushions, and there's enough to buy, you know, a number 5 at McDonald's at this point.
See, I don't even know if they're dropping change, Brian. I think they're dropping bills. I mean, we're getting a $1, maybe 5, 15s. I mean, 10 and a 5, $15 bill, but it's just been. It seems as if in this area, Clear Fork isn't able to really string together any passes. Let's see if they're able to do so as they try to get one down the field here, but too much defense from the Arrows is now there on the attack.
Heavy charge and pressure by Berenson. Doesn't lead to anything. I thought I heard you say a $15 bill, G-Man.
I said there wasn't. I said 15, but I meant a 10 and a 5. At least that I know of.
Now, I'm going to let you create the $15 bill. Is there an ex-Prezi that you want to see on that thing?
See, I don't have a favorite president.
Well, I'm like a baby still. You've seen like 4 presidents in your lifetime. That's a real number. All you know is what? Bush? Oh, you had Clinton for a few months.
I was born in 2000, so he was like on the outs, I believe.
Yeah.
And then it was Bush, and then Obama, Trump, and then Clinton. I really like Theodore Roosevelt because he's a bigger guy. That one was uncorked.
Yeah, that's the champagne popping right there. That's a lot of pace behind this one. But you got to keep it down in the field of play or it doesn't really challenge anybody. 5th shot here in the second half by Ashland. Only 2 so far have been on frame. And it definitely feels like the time of possession is starting to go more heavily in favor of the Arrows. Who come away with a turnover here. And this one chipped and bounced it into the hands of Griffin. So the Colts holding their own defensively. Oh, good looking build up initially. Kind of came off the side of the foot from Hauger. I thought that was going to get a little bit more fuel behind it, and he was going to have Martin out in space.
Their opportunities for Clear Fork have been limited more here in the second half, but the chances they've had, they're starting to get a little bit better looks. Just not able to really complete them off, as now this is going to be a great chance for the Arrows.
It's Berenson. Turns back to the middle of the park. And thinking that one got deflected. Step in a gamble there by Frost allows this to come. But Dudley was there for the deflection and lost off the foot of Roberts. And sometimes freshmen going to have mistakes like that. That first initial shot. That was a big one. Ashland's had 3 very quality scoring attempts so far in these first 14 minutes. But as I posed earlier with the what ifs, you know, maybe a little bit of doubt starts creeping in when you've got 26 shots and none of them have been like super close. Though Ashland's got some numbers matriculating forward here. It's a good thing if you're a Clear Fork fan that Jack Dudley was able to kind of break that one up because it was a 6-on-4. That's one of the few times that Ashland's really had numbers moving into the attacking third. As Sebastian again comes near post with it. Set up, still loose. And the Colts get it out of harm's way, at least for now, with Beachy. See if they can send it. Try to get Conner in the mix up top. They won't be able to. But right back over to the Colts, who are going to make a quick change with Caleb Peters coming on. We'll see who he gives a break to. Looks like Landon McCauley. Can Clear Fork get number 4 the ball again moving forward? He had the one opportunity that he was sick with himself for having the big heavy first touch. Other than that, there has not been much of Conner Hauger as that one somehow threaded its way through. And boy, Owen is such a physical player. I just love the tenacity this guy plays with. He does a pretty solid job of using his body, but not extending his arms or his elbows, and I think that's why the officials have allowed it for the most part of tonight, though. He does pick up the foul here.
Yeah, he's been super physical, too, when he gets in any altercation, and that time just a little bit too much. Refs error at the foul call there, and they'll get us now. Ashland still get the ball back here with a chance, and I think another foul here.
Yeah, this one's going to go against Clear Fork and Bronson Frost. I think that's the right call as the advantage was taken away from Clear Fork there. So they're going to set it up. And Roberts, you know, he hasn't been great off the set pieces. I'm a little surprised they're going to allow the freshman again. And Blakely does his best Superman impression there.
Big time save right there for the senior here. Having to extend fully out there to save that one as Ashland had a great look. Look at that on the replay. Gorgeous save from Griffin.
That's what Superman does. Always making saves. And all of a sudden, you know, we only had 2 fouls basically the entire match until these last 2 minutes, and then now 3 all of a sudden. The latest against the Arrows. So I think this is what Clear Fork needed. You know, just a chance to really flip the field, but you got to win the ball out of the air. That one almost frustrated me a little bit. When you're so limited so far on your ability to get into the attacking third. I don't know that they have in this second half. You got to go full bore to try to get the rock if you're Clear Fork right now. No question.
I think that save from Blakely gave them kind of a jolt of confidence, jolt of momentum. It's kind of swung a little bit. The crowd kind of got back into the game, but the arrow is just kind of sucking the life out of this one. As Clear Fork just nothing able to really materialize on the offensive end. Let's see if they can finally get going, but another turnover.
And I think it's just the team speed from top to bottom at each position. Ashland is faster. It's been pretty evident throughout the course of tonight that there's, you know, maybe only a couple of spots on the field where Clear Fork has the speed advantage. But if you can't get those players the ball, that 99 speed doesn't do you a whole lot of good.
We'll give you a little bit of a weather update here, Brian.
Oh, please do.
The rain is beginning to fall, and wind is picking up just a bit. So,
don't forget the Soccer Locker Part 3 dropping tonight, 9 p.m. So basically, like right after this one's over, go ahead and see where Jesse Ryder has Ashland placed in his top 5. I'm guessing that they got to be somewhere up there, you know, with some of these quality wins that they've been able to produce, certainly over the likes of Lexington's and Madison here in the area. So check that one out. Oh, and I was just told where they're placed, but I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to tune in. Arrows exercising a little bit of patience now as they push it down into the corner. This cross. Well, I think Clear Fork thought that it was out of bounds, but the officials are not stopping play, so it's going to set up what was a golden opportunity for Cayman home, and that was just a strange 15 seconds of my life. Let's see. Yeah, they're setting it up for the goal kick. Aiden's like, I didn't hear no whistle. And what's the only rule, G? Play to the whistle. Well, there's a few other ones, but, you know, that's kind of a key one that a coach will tell you. As all of a sudden, hey, I mean, there's Thursday night football on tonight, so the physicality's starting to ratchet up a little bit. But I think that we're just about as good as Amazon from what I've seen these last few weeks. Right on the same level.
I think for both sides, the frustration part's beginning to boil, especially for Ashland. Is this one another save from Blakely back there? Another great free kick there for the Arrows, but Blakely's been rock solid all night.
At least able to keep it down, put it on frame, forcing Griff to make a play. And he's just done an exceptional job of squeezing it off these last 2 free kicks. But Ashland, as they've done all night, able to get into the attacking third. This is a great-looking shot, but an even better save. My goodness.
I mean, I'm speechless. You got the senior out here, too, on senior night, the lone senior. I mean, he's having a huge impact.
Man, is that a bird or a plane out there? Nah, that's Griffin Blakely. It's my keeper, if you're a Clear Fork fan and you're proud of it. See if he can make another big save. Won't have to this time. Initially, it looked like Ramirez was going to weave his way through and get a big shot fired on frame. As you see the full field there from our up top vantage point. Most of the action been just wherever Ashland, that goal, where they're headed, that's where we've seen it. And another shot here, just not a lot of pace there from Berenson, and he looks a little bit frustrated. I think thought he got bumped and should have earned a whistle. I'm not so sure. Looked like just some good jostling back and forth. Another look.
What's the save count out now, Brian, for Mr. Griffin?
We're at 15 now for the Grifster.
I mean, it doesn't get much better of a performance here. I mean, he's keeping Clear Fork alive. Ashland, at least in these last 2 minutes, they've had great opportunities here.
He's a little off the state record, as what we learned here these last couple of weeks with that St. Peter's guy. That I don't remember what they decided he ended up with, but it did not turn out to be the state record. He initially was marked down for 58. I think they put him at like 39 or something, but the state record, 54. That's crazy.
That's unreal. Like, wow.
I mean, that's making a save almost a minute. Yeah, that's triple what Griffin has, but with all these shots coming now, he's might start climbing the charts. But again, give a little bit of love to the Clear Fork defense.
Yeah.
Because we've seen, I mean, how many deflections tonight? They themselves have made a good 20 saves, just getting in the way of some blistering Ashland shots. As we're back into the fan zone, showing some love to you out there, the fans of North Central Ohio and beyond. Didn't see anybody really chiming in, letting us know where they're watching from tonight. So, fill us in. Where are you? Oh, hey, Tracy. Says she loves listening to us guys. She got hooked last year watching Becca Conrad play on the live and free games, and actually the last 2 seasons. We had Becca, who's now down in Dayton, big college kid, thrower for the Flyers, so definitely wishing her luck. Fun to see how her career ends up shaking out down there. As this is a good-looking cross, and man, a lot behind that one from Aiden. But too much.
And you mentioned it, Brian, you got to give kudos to this Clear Fork D. Not only Blakely back there, but the rest of the guys, too, doing their job.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's been a one-on-one with the keeper. I mean, there's been at least multiple Colts in there, trying to deflect it. I mean, Ashland's had some great shots, but, nothing where it's just been one-on-one with Blakely. But, he's got his money's work back there, 15 saves, and now Ashland uncorking one, and this one will go in.
Roman Ramirez kept it low. Griff had to go down to the turf. Initially, it looked to me like he was going to make the stop, but just too much pepper on the steak right there as the arrows hit the target.
Big-time shot right there from Ramirez, and they needed it too. They eventually were going to get one, Brian, and here it comes from Ramirez, a low shot. I think Blakely got a piece of it too, but, the weather conditions, the ball's a little wet right now, so just able to slip past Blakely as Ashland finally gets on the board.
8th shot on net here in the second half, and it was kind of that hesitation play there that set it up. He didn't allow the defense to get resettled. Great shot by Roman Ramirez in the first half. There were so many that they were getting underneath. Wisely kept it on the ground, and it's tough for a keeper. But hey, Bryce Thompson touching the ball for the first time. Look at that. He didn't even know what to do. He's like, what? Do I punt it now? No, I'll just roll it.
Now let's see if, one leads to another. A little bit too much there. Just want to go out of play.
Was that a shot by Clear Fork? How did Thompson even get his mitts on it?
I think it was just a through ball that Clear Fork wasn't able to catch up to.
So they're still sitting on a goose egg in terms of shots here in the second half. Only one for the entire match, folks. So over the last 2 matches here at home against Lexington and now Ashland, you're looking at a combined total of 4 shots and, man, a lot of defending. Oh, Ramirez, another chance. Left foot this time. Airmailed it. And I see that we're starting to get some locations pouring into the fan zone, so keep them coming. I'll give away mine here. On the top shelf here at the Colt Corral. Second deck of one of my favorite press boxes in, well, any school that I've been to. As this one leaks out of play here on the near side. Anna says, come on, Colts. Get it together out there. Let's go, Cohen, bust a goal. Always love when people comment in song form. You imagine that's how he meant it, right? Oh, good looking move by Hauger. What's he going to do with it? Draw a triple team. So who wants it? Look, Clear Fork with 5 guys playing back. So I know that they don't want to expose themselves and make it tough with a counterattack heading back their way. But you got to start sending bodies forward at some point, I think.
Yeah, I think at that 10-minute mark, it's time to kind of, flip it and try to get something to go offensively, because so far with so many guys deep, they just haven't had really a great chances. Look at this.
Wow, Sherrick charging in, and a foul. I believe it's going to be marked inside the box. Yes, it will. So we're going to have a PK on the way. And you imagine that they are going to reward Owen Sherrick. The whistle and the foul against Jack Dudley, who's held his own for the most part tonight. He's certainly been locked up in quite a few physical confrontations tonight with number 15 here. But Owen trying to make this a 2-0 game. It's a big shot right here. Big opportunity, I think, for Blakely, too. And he just guesses wrong. As Sherrick pounds it into the opposite side than Griff chose to dive. And it will be 2-0 now in favor of the Arrows. So just like that, less than 3 minutes apart, Ashland hanging a couple on the board.
I've always been curious, Brian, how difficult it is to be able to try to stop a PK. You know, you just kind of just leaning towards their tendencies and, you know, kind of just the judgment play there. It's hard, you know, to be able to, you know, stop those and kind of guess where the ball is going and be able to defend it at a high level.
Definitely a cat and mouse game. If you're a goalie, you try to, you know, maybe show that you're going to be shading to one side or that you're going to try to make your dive one way or the other. You're definitely staring into the soul of the guy who's standing on the 6 and hoping that he's looking right back and feels a little bit of fear as he's approaching the ball. But there's just not a lot to do if you're a keeper. It's a very vulnerable position. I don't know the statistics in terms of the success rate on a PK at the high school level, but I would venture to guess, you know, probably north of 70%. So there's a lot that's not in your favor if you're standing in between the pipes there. And oftentimes, you just got to make that guess and hope that you predict correctly.
So now I think the aggressiveness has to be turned up for Clear Fork. Down 2-0. You know, you got nothing to lose at this point. You're not trying to hold the 1-0 lead for Ashland. You got to try to continue to get something offensively. There's been nothing here tonight. I believe there's only one shot for Clear Fork tonight, so something's got to give on the offensive end. Let's see if the Colts kind of change their strategy here in the second half. As you're hearing the groans from the crowd here.
And I'm on instat.com now, and according to them, males are successful on penalty kicks 75.57% of the time. They miss only 4% of the time, and then the keeper saves it only 17.5%. Less than 3% of the time it hits the post or the crossbar. So, I mean, it's a daunting task anytime the ball is placed at the 6 and you're the goalie. Sherrick did a good job of keeping possession, giving up his body as he's done so much tonight, and trying to find him here. Back post, he made the charge, but Howman slightly too much juice. And I think, again, that Sherrick's offside. Like, I feel like, I mean, that's clear. The referee's right there. It's about the third time that they've not put the whistle to the mouth. It didn't cost Clear Fork. But certainly some missed call opportunities there. As this one's deflected out of bounds. Under a dozen minutes remaining on the clock. Ashland looking to extend their win streak to 6 straight ever since a strange loss, according to the coaching staff, to Perrysburg on the road. So they have been dominant here of late, and some quality wins in there too. I mean, 5-3 over Ontario. Does a good one. Mansfield Senior, a much improved Tiger team, shut them out 5-0. New Philly, solid squad, shut them out 2-3-0. And then Oregon Clay, definitely the most challenging match. Back on October 8th, won that one 2-1. As Blakely making another save, increasing his totals up to 8 in each half now. Can the Colts get their first shot? And you see that just not on the same page. Beachy that time, sends it deep. Hauger didn't even make a run. And it all ends up as a goal kick.
Fans beginning to get in this one too, Brian. I don't know if you can hear it, but starting to get a little frustrated over here on the Colts sideline.
Well, you know, we've talked about it a couple times tonight about the fact both this match and Lexington, and there's just been so little opportunities produced by Clear Fork. They've been defending basically the entire time. Held their own for the most part, but it does, as a fan base, start getting a little bit, I mean, annoying. Like when your team's not able to like generate some offense and give you something to cheer about. When it's all defense and you're just constantly back on your heels, you know, it can be tough hanging in there. And spoken as a Browns fan, trust me, G-Man, I know a lot about this feeling. And it doesn't usually end well for us. Doesn't look like it's going to do the same for Clear Fork tonight. Yet, I'm going back up on Sunday. Can't stay away. Can't figure it out. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. to go to the game. What am I doing?
You're a soldier. That's what you are. A brave one at best.
Yeah. Well, I've convinced myself, hey, it's about the tailgate party and not so much about the product on the field.
Well, they should be able to win that game. Is Mac Jones playing, or is he still out?
I don't think Mac is going to be available for Clear Fork, so
it's Zappy.
We're going to try to zap Zappy. Which should... So Clear Fork now, under 9 to go. Can they produce something here? These two guys in the midfield, they haven't been able to connect. Beachy and Hauger, I remember early in the year, man, they were so exciting to watch on opening night against Madison, who's a really young team. But they brought a lot of juice there, as that one's a mile high. Then I seen them as well on the road against Mansfield Christian, a game that they lost, but those two, again, so dynamic, and it just feels like that they've lost a little bit of that flavor. It's almost like, you know, a snow cone where everything kind of dripped down to the bottom, and you're just getting a whole lot of ice up top.
I think Lexington, you know, their defensive success they had against those two was kind of like a recipe for success, you could say, for, you know, other teams to look at and kind of figure out. Hauger and Beachy, they've been, you know, kind of shut out against these elite clubs, and Ashland, another one of those, you know, teams in that category, and still scoreless here. And Hauger and Beachy, not even a shot attempt for either one of them.
Blakely's definitely been the busiest Colt so far tonight. Touched the ball often. But an opportunity brewing here for the Colts. But that last connecting pass, just not there. They had Frost on the charge. It was obviously great thought process, exactly what you want to see if you're Clear Fork, but just couldn't capitalize. And they're hitting 0% tonight on that last pass. Have not connected on a single one. Good looking slide tackle coming in by Jaden. Still be Ashland's ball though. Got the throw in on the near side. Drops it into the feet of Martin. Just so much confidence with the ball at so many different positions out here for the Arrows. Just feels like their poise meter is filled to the brim, and a little bit more of a panic meter for Clear Fork at times.
Just 6 minutes remaining here in Ashland. Still, you know, foot on the gas pedal, still dominating this one. And shots and time of possession, continuing to try to get some good looks here. And they're going to have a chance, but Blakely.
Oh.
Wow, he's come off his line a couple times and almost cost him there.
It's his 9th save here in the second half. I think he made the proper play. Come out and just kind of narrow down the goal. Don't allow a whole lot of space there to Schneider. Works out for Clear Fork. Trailing by 2, closing minutes now. But it's the Arrows, who actually they've went pretty deep into their bench now. Got some different guys out here. And they're still remaining the hungry team on the attack. Sherrick's still out there. Can't chase this one down. And for the Arrows, I didn't do my normal, like, super deep dive into what they've been doing here lately, but I do feel like double-digit wins for them. This is the first time in a while, and they're going to be adding to that heading into the tournament, as mentioned, and kind of a favorable situation as a whistle goes against Ashland, and we'll set up Clear Fork with a free kick. But I think I'm pretty excited now from what we've seen from Ashland as a number 8 seed heading into that Division I district up in the Toledo area. They're going to be taking on the 13 seed in Ross, and that's for a sectional championship before moving on and probably be playing Northview. So I'm encouraged by their potential once they get into the tournament.
I like the two-headed monster that they have in Sherrick and then Aiden up top. You know, they both combine for 28 goals so far this season, but they also like to share the wealth. I love Sherrick's physicality. I think you mentioned that a lot tonight, Brian. Just, you know, he doesn't let guys run through him. He's usually the one, you know, bringing the pain, and I like that here is Ashland's going to take a shot, but that one won't even make it back to the keeper.
And I'm told that, after this shot attempt, if we get one, we will, and it's off the post. Amazing how close that was from Ramirez having his second. So Clear Fork, you know, still not out the woods here, having to play defense. Back post. A couple of bodies hanging out there for the Arrows. And again, they just know where to go with the ball. Great team chemistry as it's finally scooped up. But after this replay, G, I'm told that we've got a live look in at Thursday Night Football and Amazon Prime, what they've been able to do so far this season, and this is what it looks like. Come on, man. Another deep shot taken by Ashland behind. I think that was Jake Furr in the picture. It's hard to tell. Who's not here tonight. He's been the bad luck charm for Clear Fork so far this season, but I don't know. Maybe you got to start counting me into the mix because the last couple times I've been over here, Clear Fork hasn't looked very sharp. So they do get out of harm's way here, but Ashland now, boy, they've got 19 shots in the second half, and they've been much more dialed in. 13 of those have at least challenged Blakely.
Yeah, they've been much better at getting better looks, you know, towards the net, finding connecting passes, finding teammates. Is this one another shot? Blakely there to get this one. Is now just 2 minutes remaining in this one.
And if you're wondering, Griffin's save count, 20 now. Kid has got his money's worth on senior night. Who do you feel like is the MVP tonight, though? We want to hear not just from G-Man, who's going to give me a smart answer, but also from you, the fans out there. If you're watching and you've been paying attention, who do you think should come up into the booth, join myself for a little post-match chat about all of the success that they enjoyed out there tonight? G-Man, I'm going to give you one vote. Who you going with?
It pains me to do this, but I know this isn't going to be the pick. But I would give it up for Blakely. If I was picking, I would give it up to Griffin. But I know we gotta take the winning team here. So
I don't think we have to.
At least my pick would be Blakely here in this situation.
I think that would be kind of a cool move to make on senior night. The man has been tested. I don't think I've called a match yet this season where I've seen a 20-piece in the save column. But he's not going to make 21. That might have just changed everything.
Yeah.
Another great setup by Ashland. Boy, they have really been on fire here in the second half. And they cash it in again, this time Bryce Bartholomew checking in. I think he came up all the way from a defensive role.
Well, does this not seem like the same story from last Thursday night against Lexington? You know, it was tight in that first half. Lexington was only up 1-0, and then they exploded in the second half, scoring 4 goals and really just taking Clear Fork completely out of the game. Same story here. Ashland able to get 3 goals here in the second half. Now this one really is put to bed with 40 seconds remaining as Ashland will get their 11th win of the season.
Yeah, I think you had me convinced before that last goal. The Griff was the correct pick. But when you allow a three-piece,
it changes the attitude, definitely.
It does. It does. And it was like right in the middle of our conversation, too.
Just wasn't meant to be.
So that's going to be now 9-0 on the season for Ashland against Division II competition. They have owned D2 so far this season. It's the second straight defeat now for Clear Fork, who is going to head into the tournament just a little below 500 at 8-9. They've got to take on the number 3 seed in Norwalk at their place coming up on October the 17th. Go ahead, drop us a comment. Let us know during the break who you think should be the game MVP, and we will welcome them up for an interview with yours truly. That, final stats, our analysis on the match, and a little bit more on the other side of the break. So keep it here. It's always live in front.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
with our player of the match presented by Sutton Bank. We have got Owen Sherrick joining me now up in the booth. And big goal for you in the second half. Took a while for you guys to get on the board, but then it snowballed a little bit where you got 3 over the last 15 minutes. Lots of shots, though, for you guys. So let's just talk about the offense and generating 41 shot attempts here tonight. It feels like you have like a really good, strong understanding of where people are going to be on the field, and you guys worked the ball really well tonight.
Yeah, so basically we just wanted to work our outsides and then cut back in the middle. We noticed that there was a lot of channel and space into the middle, and we could rip some shots out from there. We struggled to get them on target, but just generating those shots is all we wanted to do, and hopefully one would go in. And eventually in the second half, Roman Ramirez ripped one. It did go through his hands, but a goal's a goal in the end. So I was pretty happy with how it went.
And you guys now 6 straight victories for you. It's got to feel like this is the best soccer that you're playing so far this season. What has led to that and you guys developing and gelling as a squad?
Well, in the beginning of the season, we kind of struggled with some of the chemistry, I thought, and just through the season, we kind of just built up that chemistry in practices, and we were taking extra time out just to get to know each other and team bonding and stuff. And through the extra practices and stuff, we just kind of really bonded, I thought. And then through different formations we've been running, I think we finally just melted into this one. So I'm happy with that.
You're certainly a key cog in the offense and a very physical player. Describe to me how you would describe your playing style, because it seems like you've really mastered the art of using your body to the fullest maximum ability that you can.
Well, when you take it to the team, it really makes them break down. So I've noticed that if I really go in physical, start playing physical, that they'll slowly start to break down. And as I said before, the spaces and channels will come up. So if I start playing physical, they start to break down, then I can take those chances to finish.
And you finished 15 times so far in the season. That's tops on the team. In what ways do you feel like your game from the time you were a freshman up until now, how have you evolved as a soccer player to now you're the leading scorer on the team through the regular season?
Well, in the beginning, I kind of just was shying away from taking chances, and I was scared to make mistakes. But now I'll just make the mistake, get my head back up, score again. So I just, as you said, keep playing that physical game and just rip those shots, score the goals.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you only allowed 1 shot tonight by Clear Fork, none on frame. Is this something that you guys have, well, it looks like you're making a habit of it. I'm seeing quite a few zeros up there. Out of your last 6 that you've won, 5 of them have been shutouts. Do you feel like that's a combination of, great defense plus you guys being able to control the ball, or well, why so many shutouts here as of late?
I definitely want to thank the defense. The defense are super solid in the back, and just through them being solid in the back, we can work it up and we can pass the ball, keep passing it around, just keep possession of it. I think is a huge factor in it. So that that is what it is.
So you're heading into tournament time now. You guys are going to be the number 8 seed. You're going to play at home against Fremont Ross for a sectional championship. How would you describe the confidence level of this team as you guys are entering postseason time?
We're feeling really confident, but we have to keep our heads, because you can't let the confidence get to your head too much, because then you'll be the team that's breaking down. So we're going to keep that confidence rolling into the next game and the next game. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations on a big victory here tonight, number 11 so far in the season. I think it's been a while since an Ashland team has posted that kind of a number. If there's anybody that's kind of helped you get to this point, or just someone that you want to throw some love to, if you want to look into the camera and give any shout-outs, go ahead.
Shout out Bryce Thompson, my keeper. Shout out just the whole team, my family, and my friends.
All right, Owen Sherrick, our player of the match, presented by Sutton Bank. Really appreciate the time and continued success, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back with G-Man. Wrap things up here from the Colt Corral.
In today's world of supply chain shortages and disruptions, having raw material or finished goods inventory on hand to fill customer orders is more important than ever. Based in North Central Ohio and with locations nationwide, including 5 throughout the Buckeye State, MWD Logistics can find your business the warehouse space needed to manage your distribution and logistic needs. Grow your bottom line with flexible warehousing solutions at MWD Logistics.
At Knox Community Hospital, your primary care physician is more than someone who delivers your test results, more than someone who writes prescriptions, more than someone who listens to your heart. We are your healthcare partner who takes the time to know you, listen to your concerns, and provide you with expert personalized care to make and keep you well. Because to us, you're more than just numbers on a chart. You're a neighbor and a friend. Knox Community Hospital, in the community, for the community.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Welcome back to the Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement Postgame, where we're here at the beautiful Clear Fork Corral. Not very much beautiful play, though, in the beautiful game by the Colts. At least offensively, they defended well. Got an amazing performance by their lone senior on senior night. Griffin Blakely, 20 big saves for him. But it wasn't enough as Ashland poured it on. All 3 of their goals coming in the final 15 minutes. I'm Brian Skowronski. Garret Parlett is joining me right now to kind of throw a bow on this thing here, G-Man. And let's go ahead and bring up the final stats of the night. As you look at some of these numbers and you think about what you just saw for the last 80 minutes, what's your big takeaways for each of these teams?
Well, for Ashland, I mean, it's just pure dominance. I mean, 41 shots,
41-1.
Exactly. I mean, 41 and then 23 to it, especially in the second half. They had great opportunities to get in the back of the net. Ashland did. They were able to capitalize. It was like the same story from last week between from Clear Fork and Lexington. As Lexington, he kind of struggled in that first half, but in the second half kind of poured it on. Same thing with Ashland. 0-0 at the half, and then the Arrow was able to get a 3 spot in the last 40 minutes and kind of put this out of reach. Possession 70-30, dominated by the Arrows. I mean, it was really all Ashland all night. Just one shot for Clear Fork, and this is kind of something that they have to be able to figure out before postseason play, because to be able to win in the postseason, you're going to be playing clubs like Ashland, like Lexington, some of those tougher schools. So you're going to be able to get some kind of recipe to get going and get some shots, because the 2 games that I've seen Clear Fork, just to combine, I believe 3 shots for them. So that's something, that Clear Fork has been struggling with. Playing some of those elite clubs is going to get some shots on goal.
As you look at Clear Fork's schedule so far this season, 8 wins, 9 losses. I don't know that they have a signature win on the season. They ran through the MOAC outside of Ontario, their lone loss, of course, in the conference, but they got beat pretty bad by 7 goals in that contest. So for the Colts, you know, I've got some doubts about them as they head into their matchup with Norwalk. That's going to be on the 17th on the road for the sectional championship. Clear Fork getting the number 6 seed. So I think you put it well. You got to figure some things out. I'm not sure how you do that, though, just practicing against yourself here before you get into that game. So it could be a short tournament run for Clear Fork, as we've seen here as of late.
Now, they play Clear Fork, don't they? Clear Fork?
Clear Fork plays Clear Fork?
Or no, Clear Fork plays Norwalk, sorry.
They do?
Didn't Norwalk beat them early super early in the season? I think it was 1-0.
They did. It was a good match.
So, yeah, so at least first round, you know, at least some familiarity for the Colts, you know, getting to play Norwalk, a team that they know that they can compete with.
Sure.
And if they can win that one and get some good things going, too. If they can win that one big, I think it would bode well for them the rest of the tournament.
I think the only thing about Clear Fork to me is that it felt like early on in the year, and we touched on it during the match, that they were getting a lot of good play in the midfield.
Yeah.
Hasn't been the case against some of these top-notch opponents here as of late. Okay. Ashland clearly is one of those. 11 wins so far on the year, and we talked about they got off to the 0-2 start, playing 2 really tough teams out of the gates. Since then, only lost to Worcester, Olentangy, Liberty, and then the Perrysburg loss, which was their last. 6 straight wins for them now. So I think that there's a lot that you can extrapolate from just looking at the schedule and seeing them play to think that this might be a team that can get to a district championship for the first time in a long time.
Well, previously was the 5-game win streak. Then they win the Knights on the 6-game win streak, and you said it was combined 17-1, now 20-1. So I mean, they're not just winning, you know, close games. They're winning, you know, huge. So I mean, they're kind of asserting, you know, their strengths, their muscles. They're flexing all over their opponents, and they flexed tonight all over Clear Fork. Was never really even close. It felt close in that first half.
Yeah.
But with the shots, you know, it was just a big disparity between the two. And Clear Fork, it was just outmatched tonight. They were outmatched last week. Taking another team on in the OCC and Ashland, just outmatched again as they dropped 3-0.
Blakely almost was truly Superman-like tonight.
Yeah.
I think if that one doesn't skate by from Ramirez, that the faucet doesn't get turned on all the way and the other 2 goals come, I just really felt like he was on pace to have one of those amazing storybook type of senior nights. And unfortunately for him, just about an inch off, and it kind of changed everything for Clear Fork here tonight, who lose 3-0 to wrap up the regular season. Well, guys, that is going to wrap up our coverage here from Bellville tonight, though. But make sure that you take a look at the Soccer Locker and see who some of the teams that are trying to fight into Jesse Ryder's top 5, with postseason coming up starting on Monday of next week, and who actually is in the top 5. Where does Ashland land for Jesse Ryder? Are they, you know, at the very top, or the second, third? I don't know. Go ahead and scroll down, find it, and take a look. I want to thank all of our sponsors, of course, that help bring you live and free coverage here on the OH Report. Maumee Bay Turf, Sutton Bank, Park National Bank, Mansfield Roofing and Home Improvement, and MWD Logistics. Want to also throw a shout out to Adam Thompson for always providing us some fun nuggets throughout the game. He builds all the graphics, directs, produces the audio, does a lot of different jobs. So does Garret Parlett, running camera and doing color commentary. And then there's me, I just talk. Want to thank those guys and sign out for now. But guess what? Lots of football coming up tomorrow night. You can catch it all live and free on the OH Report. We'll see you then.